Delve into the hidden tales of longing and desire that dance on the edge of what should never be. Have you ever experienced that fleeting moment when everything seems to align perfectly, yet there's a whisper of something you shouldn't pursue? Everything feels so right, yet so wrong. A fresh start, a whispered promise, a bond that feels both thrilling and wrong. But do you know what's most captivating about flawless moments? They often conceal secrets that only emerge when you dare to look deeper. This tale unfolds from a seemingly perfect start, spiraling into an unexpected journey of longing and desire. I believed that leaving everything behind and stepping into a new home would bring me the chance to begin anew. But it became a web of emotions, far more intricate than either of us anticipated. Maybe it was destined to happen, maybe it was destiny. But in that fleeting moment, I was blissfully unaware of the heart-wrenching challenges that awaited me. I'm Sophia, and this is where everything shifted, where hearts whispered secrets they shouldn't have. Stepping into a new house ignites a spark of something extraordinary, a thrill laced with the sweetness of the unknown. When Thomas and I first laid eyes on our new home, a rush of warmth enveloped me, igniting something deep within. Bright, airy spaces with soaring ceilings and expansive windows that flood the room with light, making it hard to hide the warmth of a blossoming connection. This house held our secret dreams. There was a secret corner where we could transform our dreams into reality, just the two of us. As Thomas unpacked boxes in the living room, I lingered in the doorway, my heart racing at the sight of him. In that fleeting instant, I realized that perhaps everything was finally aligning, even if it felt wrong. Yet, beneath the surface, a whisper of doubt lingered. Today, Gabriel, Thomas's son from his first marriage, was meant to be here with us. Meeting him for the first time sent a thrill of nervous excitement through me, adding an unexpected tension to our meticulously arranged housewarming. Every word Thomas spoke about Gabriel's independence and maturity at just 18 left me breathless, a mix of admiration and something deeper stirring within me. I felt the weight of the moment, knowing everything hinged on this meeting. As the car's engine quieted, my heart raced. Caught in a moment that felt both thrilling and wrong, Thomas glanced up, a spark igniting in his eyes, a smile breaking through the tension of the moment. I breathed out, my heart racing as I dashed to the porch. As Gabriel emerged from the car, my heart raced, and I found myself holding my breath. Caught in a moment that felt both thrilling and wrong, he stood above me, more imposing than I had imagined, his every movement laced with an effortless grace, a confidence that sent my heart racing. His features were striking, each line and curve a testament to an allure that felt almost dangerous to acknowledge. He appeared more like a young man, stirring feelings I hadn't expected, rather than the boy I had envisioned. "Hi, Gabriel," I whispered, my heart racing as I tried to sound casual and warm. Gabriel's smile was like a secret, warm and inviting. As he reached out his hand, a silent promise lingering in the air, his handshake was firm yet gentle, a subtle promise of something more, a fleeting connection that felt both thrilling and dangerous. "It's a pleasure to finally meet you, Sophia." His voice wrapped around her like a secret, deep yet tender, igniting a spark of longing that felt both thrilling and wrong. There was a spark in his eyes that left me breathless, a mystery I dared not explore, yet it lingered in my thoughts. As we stepped inside, Gabriel's gaze swept the room, a spark of wonder lighting his eyes, as if he were discovering a secret world. "Beautiful house?" he said, and I caught a glimpse of Thomas's pride as he straightened his shoulders, a moment that felt both sweet and dangerous. My gaze was drawn to Gabriel, captivated by his quiet confidence and the way he held himself, a magnetic pull I couldn't resist. Gabriel was more than just handsome. There was an undeniable pull about him that sent shivers down my spine, leaving me both uneasy and captivated. The evening lingered in a hush, heavy with unspoken words. We shared a quiet dinner in the new dining room, savoring the tender beginnings of our life together in this house, a secret world just for us. As Thomas recounted tales from his childhood, I couldn't help but steal glances at Gabriel, his laughter echoing like a sweet secret in the air. Their bond appeared unbreakable, and I felt a flicker of happiness for them. Yet each time Gabriel's eyes met mine, a forbidden thrill coursed through me, leaving my heart racing. His gaze felt too intense, as if he were searching for a truth buried deep within me, one I wasn't ready to confront. As the evening faded into shadows, I felt the weight of unspoken feelings linger between us, a delicate tension that begged for more time to explore. I invited Gabriel to explore the house and to reveal his room, and he accepted with a spark of excitement. As we ascended the stairs, an electric tension hung in the air, a silent acknowledgement of what we both knew but dared not speak. An unspoken tension lingered, a feeling I couldn't quite grasp. "You're doing a great job with this house," Gabriel whispered as we stepped into his room, the air thick with unspoken feelings. I nodded, fighting to mask the turmoil his presence stirred within me. Gabriel stepped toward the window, his gaze drifting to the street below before he turned to face me, a spark of something unspoken lingering in the air between us. But I smiled and slipped away, leaving him behind, grappling with the turmoil that stirred within me. As I returned to the bedroom, I discovered Thomas engrossed in his dreams, his serene countenance a poignant sight that stirred my emotions. I lay beside him, heart racing, but sleep eluded me. My mind was consumed by thoughts of Gabriel, his intense gaze, and that captivating smile that lingered in my heart. I tried to convince myself that it was just nerves about the new family ties, but a whisper in the back told me it was far more complicated than that. That evening marked the start of a whirlwind that would forever alter my existence, and I sensed it deep within me, but the moment and the way it would unfold remained a mystery to me. It had only been a few days since Gabriel stepped into our lives, yet everything felt different, charged with an unspoken tension. Life began to settle into a familiar rhythm, yet each day ignited a spark of something deeper, something unspoken. Thomas was lost in his work, and I found myself struggling to navigate the tangled emotions of our new reality. Gabriel, with his unexpected charm, slipped seamlessly into our family's rhythm, igniting a spark that felt both thrilling and wrong. Yet, a flicker of something forbidden ignited within me. One morning, after Thomas had already slipped out for work, I discovered Gabriel in the kitchen. He sat at the table, lost in the pages of a book I had longed to revisit, a bittersweet ache stirring within me. "What do you think of it?" Gabriel glanced up, a secret smile playing on his lips. "It's breathtaking. It's rare to find a story that captures the depths of someone's soul so profoundly." I took a seat opposite him, my heart racing as I cradled the warm cup of coffee in my hands. "What part makes your heart race the most?" He paused, lost in a whirlwind of thoughts, each one a secret yearning awaiting discovery. It's the moment he understands that every choice he made was a quiet surrender, a heart aching with unspoken desires. He feels the weight of his choices pressing down, knowing he can't keep pretending any longer. I nodded, my heart racing at the weight of his words. Yes, it's a moment that stirs the heart deeply. We often bury our deepest longings, choosing instead to chase after what we think we should want, leaving our hearts aching in silence. Gabriel's gaze lingered on me, igniting a spark that felt both thrilling and dangerous. "And what about you? Have you ever given up what you truly want?" I hesitated, his words echoing in my heart, stirring feelings I wasn't ready to confront. Our eyes locked, and an electric tension filled the space between us. His gaze lingered on me, a spark igniting that felt dangerously intimate. "You don't strike me as someone who easily surrenders to her desires," he said, a hint of admiration lacing his words. I smiled, my cheeks burning with a mix of joy and shame. "Sometimes, fate demands we summon a strength we never knew we had." He leaned in closer, his eyes burning with an unspoken longing. "However, sometimes it's acceptable to relax your guard. It's acceptable to relax at times." I averted my gaze, desperate to escape the whirlwind of emotions swirling within me. Yet, Gabriel's words lingered in my thoughts, stirring feelings I had buried deep within. Even from my heart, that evening, Thomas lingered at work, the weight of unspoken feelings hanging in the air. Gabriel and I chose to escape into a movie together, our hearts racing with the thrill of stolen moments. I picked a cherished tale, woven with the threads of complicated connections. We sat on the couch, a chasm of unspoken words lingering in the air between us. Yet, his presence lingered, an intoxicating closeness that defied the distance between us. I experienced a surge of emotions as the credits rolled, realizing that I had entered a world of exquisite complexity. I understand now. The story tugs at the heartstrings. I've always been drawn to films that reveal love as a bittersweet journey. Filled with both passion and pain, my heart raced as I whispered my agreement. Love can be a tangled web of longing and heartache. There are moments when desire pulls at your heart, tempting you to stray from the path of righteousness. Gabriel turned his head toward me, his eyes glimmering with a forbidden allure. Have you ever faced a choice like that? Every time you choose to remain faithful to someone, it's a decision that lingers. I said, the gravity of my words resonating deeper than a mere chat about a film. He nodded, yet the intensity in his eyes sent a shiver down my spine. At times, the intensity of longing overpowers reason, compelling us to embrace it despite it seeming like a secret. His words lingered in the air, a soft dare that hinted at something deeper, something unspoken between us that went beyond the movie's story. A rush of emotions surged within me, leaving me breathless and unsure of how to react. Once more, we found ourselves in solitude. With Thomas away for a business meeting, Gabriel and I found ourselves wandering through the garden, our hearts racing with the thrill of stolen moments. We wandered quietly among the fragrant blooms, our whispers dancing in the air, sharing secrets of nature's soothing embrace. I adore this garden, Gabriel whispered, pausing by a bed of roses, his gaze lingering on the delicate blooms. It's a sanctuary where thoughts can dance freely, untouched by the chaos that surrounds us. I echo your sentiments, whispering back. The garden is where my heart finds its secret refuge. In this moment, I find solace. He turned to me, and in his eyes was that familiar, haunting depth that stirred something forbidden within me. What if this place turns into something you never expected? Something that pulls at your heart in ways you can't quite explain? A flicker of confusion crossed my face, my heart racing as I tried to grasp his intentions. What are you trying to say? He stepped closer, his eyes burning with an intensity that sent shivers down her spine. Have you ever felt that certain meetings in life are meant to be, even if they seem wrong, that they hold the power to alter everything? My heart raced, caught in a moment that felt both thrilling and wrong. His words cut through the air, igniting a spark that felt both thrilling and dangerous. Is this about what we have? His gaze held hers, unyielding and intense. Perhaps, deep down, I sense a connection between us that goes beyond mere friendship. It feels so forbidden, yet my heart can't help but yearn for what we share. My heart raced, tangled in a whirlwind of emotions, yet I fought to keep my composure. Gabriel, this is a tangled web we find ourselves in. You are my stepson. And he gently interrupted me. I understand, and I'm not pushing you to make any choices at this moment. But I need you to realize that what I feel for you runs deeper than mere infatuation. I respect you. But at the same time, his voice faded, and our gazes locked, a spark igniting between us. The air crackled with unspoken words, a magnetic pull that was impossible to resist. We lingered in the quiet, each of us aware that this fleeting moment held the power to alter our lives forever. The evening settled in, wrapping me in its quiet embrace as I sought solace after a long day. As Thomas lingered at work, I found myself in the kitchen, lost in the rhythm of chopping and stirring, each moment heavy with unspoken feelings. Gabriel lingered close, his unexpected kindness stirring something deep within me, a warmth I dared not acknowledge. His presence wrapped around me like a secret. a warmth I dared not acknowledge that evening. It all started like any other day, but beneath the surface, something was stirring, something that felt both thrilling and wrong. As we chopped vegetables, our laughter mingled with the scent of fresh herbs. And for a moment, the weight of unspoken words faded. Weekend plans danced between us, lightening the air, and I couldn't help but feel that something was shifting, something delicate and uncharted. Maybe it was the way our hearts had intertwined over time, or perhaps the air was charged with something unspoken tonight, something that made it feel undeniably significant. Even if I couldn't pinpoint the reason. "What do you think about our weekend plans?" I asked, my heart racing as I stirred the sauce. Gabriel reached for another carrot, his fingers brushing against mine as he began slicing it. I was hoping we could steal a moment together in the garden. It had been too long since I last grilled. Perhaps that was just what we needed. We took our seats at the table as the dinner arrived. Gabriel's warm praise for my cooking wrapped around me like a comforting embrace, easing the tension that lingered in the air. As we talked, I sensed a shift in Gabriel. His laughter came easier, and the distance that once lingered between us began to fade. After dinner, we found ourselves drawn to the flickering screen, the air thick with unspoken tension. Gabriel picked a lighthearted film, and we sank into the couch, reminiscent of that night when the air crackled with unspoken words. Yet now, everything felt transformed. The space that once separated us had vanished, replaced by a closeness that sent shivers down my spine. We were so close, and each glance, each brush of our hands, felt charged with something unspoken. Do you remember that scene in the last movie, when the characters finally laid bare their hearts to one another? I asked, my gaze lingering on the screen, heart racing. "Yes, I remember," Gabriel replied, his hand grazing mine in a fleeting moment that sent shivers down my spine, or sparks ignited within me at that fleeting touch. His gaze caught my surprise, and in that instant, an unspoken understanding passed between us. His hand hesitated, lingering just a heartbeat longer before retreating, leaving a void that felt both thrilling and forbidden. We stood there, suspended in a moment that felt both thrilling and wrong. The pull between us undeniable. Gabriel's gaze locked onto mine, filled with an intensity that left me breathless. His face hovered near, and I could hardly catch my breath, caught in the whirlwind of what we both knew we shouldn't feel. He exuded confidence, yet there was a fragility that drew me in. My heart raced, and I found myself captivated by the curve of his lips. "Sophia?" he murmured, and the uncertainty in his voice sent a thrill through me, something I had never heard before. Words escaped me, caught in the tension of the moment. Instead, I stood there, heart racing, lost in confusion, and then, as if time had paused, he leaned in closer to me, our gazes locked, the tension crackling like a silent storm. And in that moment, the world faded away. The first kiss caught us off guard, a spark igniting between us that felt both thrilling and wrong. Every fiber of my being was consumed by that fleeting moment. I swept away by a storm of forbidden emotions, a moment that felt both achingly real and dreamlike, as if we were dancing on the edge of something we shouldn't. In that fleeting moment, nothing else mattered. Even if I couldn't grasp how we had arrived here, he was everything, just the two of us, wrapped in this undeniable, thrilling sensation that I couldn't push away. As we parted, I caught a glimpse of his eyes, brimming with feelings that left me breathless and yearning. In the heavy silence, our hearts raced, caught between desire and uncertainty. Unsure of the path that lay ahead, my heart raced, tangled in a whirlwind of emotions. "I shouldn't have done that," I whispered, my heart racing as I fought to pull myself back from the edge. Gabriel's gaze held a warmth that sent shivers down my spine. "Neither should I." Yet it unfolded, and there's no turning back now. His voice faltered, and I felt his eyes linger on my face, a mix of longing and hesitation swirling between us. We both felt it. The kiss was more than a fleeting moment. It was a secret promise, heavy with unspoken longing. We had crossed a boundary, and now there was no turning back. I inhaled sharply, rising from the couch with a flutter of uncertainty in my chest. "I need to think," I whispered. Facing the internal turmoil, Gabriel nodded, his expression a mix of sorrow and understanding. "I understand. If you need time, I'll be here," heart aching in silence. "I just wanted you to know that it meant something to me." I nodded, my heart racing as I stepped out, the weight of unspoken feelings lingering in the air. I felt it deep within me. Everything was about to change forever. That kiss shifted the very ground beneath me, and I could no longer deny the truth of my heart. A moment had arrived when I stood at a crossroads, heart racing, knowing a decision loomed ahead, and I realized that the aftermath would be anything but easy. That first kiss ignited a fire within me, transforming everything I thought I knew. I recall the stillness of my room, the shadows wrapping around me like a secret. As I lay awake, lost in thoughts that felt too intense to share. Whenever I shut my eyes, his face haunted me. His eyes held a secret, a spark that ignited something deep within her. His touch ignited a fire within her, a spark that felt both exhilarating and wrong. I felt the weight of the moment, a spark that ignited something deep within me. Yet I knew we had to tread lightly. The next morning, I forced myself to act normal, though my heart raced with the weight of unspoken feelings. Thomas sat alone in the office, while Gabriel, lost in his world, remained blissfully unaware of the tension hanging in the air. I chose to make breakfast, hoping the simple tasks would pull me away from the whirlwind of emotions that lingered in the air. Regrettably, the unseen bond that tied me to Gabriel was impossibly powerful. Our eyes locked in the kitchen, a spark igniting as I fumbled with the music player, hoping to weave a warm melody into the air for our morning coffee. "Good morning," she whispered, her heart racing as he stepped into the kitchen, the air thick with unspoken tension. His voice wrapped around me like a comforting embrace, yet there was an intensity in his gaze that hinted at unspoken desires. That glance brought back the memories of that fateful night. "Good morning," I whispered, forcing a smile that felt both fragile and electric. "Did you dream of us?" "Good," he whispered, his gaze locked on hers, a spark of something unspoken hanging in the air. "I wanted to surprise you with breakfast." I nodded, my heart racing as I sliced through the fruit, each cut a reminder of the tension hanging between us. Gabriel edged nearer, his presence electric as he lent a hand with the preparations. We toiled in quiet, yet each brush of skin, each fleeting glance, pulled me back to the secret we shared. As the aroma of breakfast filled the air, we found ourselves drawn to the table, hearts racing with unspoken words. Gabriel, sensing the weight of my silence, leaned in closer, his laughter a gentle attempt to pull me from the shadows. I tried to smile, but the weight of unspoken feelings ensnared me. "I think we need to talk," Gabriel began, his voice barely above a whisper as we stood alone in the dim light of the kitchen. His gaze held a weight that made my heart race. I let out a soft sigh, my gaze lingering on him. "I see what you mean, but we have to tread lightly. We have to keep the news a secret." He nodded, a flicker of longing in his eyes. "We must stay apart to keep our secret safe. Yet I can't pretend that what we shared didn't change everything." My heart raced, an ache deep within, a silent cry against what should not be. How can we possibly make such an event happen? How can we navigate these emotions without stepping over the line? Gabriel paused, his gaze lingering on me, before rising and crossing the distance that separated us. He was so near that I could sense the heat radiating from him. "Our little secret will be safe with us. And while we're here, we should pretend everything is fine, even if it feels so wrong. I need you to understand that I can't simply erase what we've shared." A shiver ran through my lips, betraying the storm of emotions within me. "And I can't either. But we must tread lightly. It's a dangerous game." His fingers brushed against my skin, a gentle weight that sent shivers down my spine. It was a moment that pulsed with unspoken desire, both familiar and fraught with danger. I'll do my best. Yet, in those stolen moments, my heart races beyond my will. Our gazes met once more, and a rush of emotion surged through me, revealing the impossibility of escaping this tangled web we found ourselves in. In that instant, the pull to be close to him was overwhelming, impossible to resist. With every fleeting moment, our connection deepened, igniting a fire that felt both thrilling and wrong. Gabriel and I found ourselves drawn to each other, dancing on the brink of what we knew we shouldn't, always careful to sidestep any direct clashes with Thomas. I did my best to blend into the background, lost in the rhythm of chores, steering clear of deep conversations with my husband. One evening, as Thomas lingered at work once more, Gabriel and I were left in the quiet of the night, the air thick with unspoken tension. I was in the kitchen, lost in my thoughts, when he stepped in, offering his help, just like he always did. We toiled in quietude, and I felt every sound, every brush of skin, resonate deeper than before. "You look tired," Gabriel said, his gaze lingering on me. "Should I lend you a hand?" As our eyes locked, the air thickened with unspoken words, and I found myself nodding, surrendering to the pull between us. "Thank you. Truly, I will handle the salad, while you can focus on preparing the main dish." He stepped closer, the warmth of his presence wrapping around me as he began to prepare the meat, each movement charged with unspoken tension. His every movement exuded a quiet confidence, igniting a fire within me that I couldn't ignore, pulling me closer despite the unspoken boundaries between us. Soon, I sensed his gaze upon me, and when I turned, our eyes locked in a moment that felt both thrilling and dangerous. "I love being with you," he whispered, his voice barely breaking the silence. There's something intoxicating about our moments alone together. In that moment, the world fades away, leaving only us, tangled in a secret we dare not speak of. My heart raced with a forbidden thrill. My heart aches with the same longing. Yet the path feels so treacherous. I can't help but dwell on our choices, and the way they might change everything for us. He sighed, drawing nearer, his hands brushing against mine, igniting a spark that felt both thrilling and wrong. I understand, yet there are moments when it feels like the relationship is all that truly counts. We must hold on to each other to protect the fragile bond we share, our eyes locked. And in that fleeting moment, the familiar spark flared to life again, just like that unforgettable first evening. We stood there, lost in each other's gaze, as his hands softly traced my waist. In that fleeting instant, I could no longer suppress the ache in my heart. As he drew near, my heart raced, and the air felt thick with unspoken words. Our gazes locked, the tension crackling like a silent storm once more, igniting a fire within me that I couldn't resist. In that fleeting instant, as our lips brushed together, every fear and doubt melted away, leaving only the undeniable truth that this was where we were meant to be. The kiss quivered with longing and softness. A rush of warmth enveloped me, igniting something deeper than mere attraction. It was a sensation that left me breathless, a secret longing that danced just out of reach. It felt so forbidden, yet the pull was undeniable, igniting a fire within me that I couldn't resist. As we parted, I caught a glimpse of the raw emotion swirling in Gabriel's eyes. His gaze burned with an intensity that made my heart race, and I knew this was more than a fleeting moment. It was a connection that defied everything. "I can't predict what comes next," I admitted, struggling to steady my breath. "But I need you to understand that the present means more to me than you realize." He nodded, his eyes brimming with unspoken feelings. "I can't predict what lies ahead for us, but my heart aches to be with you. No matter the obstacles, we knew our love was tangled in shadows, fraught with danger, yet in that fleeting moment, being together was everything we craved. Only time would reveal how we would navigate this delicate chapter. But for now, we clung fiercely to what we shared, undeterred by the obstacles in our path. One evening, as I stepped through the door, my heart raced at the sight of Gabriel, already waiting for me in the kitchen. His expression was grave, and I could feel the weight of his turmoil mirroring my own. "Hi," I whispered, my heart racing as I fought to seem casual. "Did you think of me today?" Gabriel's gaze lingered on me, filled with a mix of worry and something deeper, something unspoken that sent shivers down my spine. It's complicated. The weight of our secret consumes my mind, and the guilt clings to me like a shadow. My heart raced as I took a step closer to him, the air thick with unspoken tension. My heart aches with worry. Thomas's gaze lingers a moment too long, his nervous energy palpable in the air between us. He's begun to notice the distance between us, asking how I'm doing with a concern that sends shivers down my spine. Gabriel's gaze lingered on me, a mix of worry and something deeper flickering in his eyes. "And what did you whisper to him? Everything seems fine?" Yet I can see the doubt in his eyes. He's been so attentive to my every word, searching for the secrets I keep tucked away in my heart. Gabriel's fingers intertwined with mine, sending a shiver down my spine. I wish things were different. We can't hide this any longer. The truth aches to be set free. Knowing that my choices are casting shadows on your world hurts my heart. As our eyes met, a rush of feelings tightened around my heart. This isn't solely on you. We made this choice together, yet I can't shake the fear that it could shatter everything we've built. That evening, we found ourselves in the living room, a sanctuary where whispers could linger a little longer, and the air was thick with unspoken feelings. We switched on the TV, but the flickering images couldn't chase away the tension that hung between us, a silent reminder of what we dared not acknowledge. Gabriel sat beside me on the couch, and his presence ignited a spark within me that I had never felt before. "How can we go on from here?" he asked, a tremor of doubt lacing his words. "I don't know," I whispered, my heart racing despite my efforts to remain composed. "We must hide our bond and pray that the storm will pass." We sat close, and I could see the shadows in Gabriel's eyes, a heaviness that mirrored my heart. He started to let me in, revealing his deepest worries and fears, each confession a fragile thread binding us closer, yet pulling us into a world we both knew we shouldn't explore. It was a surprise, yet there was a warmth in realizing we both felt this way. I'm scared that if the truth surfaces, it will shatter not just what we have, but your entire world, he whispered, his voice quaking with raw feeling. I can't bear the thought of you in pain because of my choices. My fingers brushed against his skin, and in that fleeting moment, his warmth enveloped me, igniting something deep within. We must face the present side by side. I can't bear to lose you. And the past is etched in my heart, but we must tread lightly. In that fleeting moment, I understood that even amidst the chaos and uncertainty, our connection burned fiercely and undeniably. We kept our love a secret, but with every stolen moment, the fire between us grew stronger. The following day, as I found myself alone with Gabriel once more, I couldn't help but see how Thomas's concern deepened, his gaze lingering a moment too long. He always seemed to sense when something was off, his concern wrapping around me like a secret embrace. The weight of our secret pressed down on me, and I felt the urgency to shield our fragile connection from the world. We stole moments together at home, whenever Thomas was away, but each heartbeat was laced with fear and tension. We did our best to stay hidden, erasing every sign of our connection. But the weight of our secret grew heavier, and I knew I couldn't hold back my feelings for much longer. Every morning, I woke up with a heaviness in my heart, aware that today might mark a significant shift for us. We whispered about how to conceal our stolen moments, but with each passing day, the weight of our secret grew heavier. Gabriel's pain mirrored my own, a silent bond that felt both beautiful and wrong. Deep down, he understood that the very feelings that drew us together had ensnared us. Despite his search for a way to untangle our hearts, he kept asking how I was holding up, and each question felt like a lifeline and a haunting reminder of the struggle we faced together. With each passing day, The air between us crackled with unspoken longing and a thrill that felt both exhilarating and wrong. The dread of discovery loomed over us, and I understood we had to navigate this delicate path without shattering the fragile world we had created together. We kept our secret, but with each passing moment, the thrill of danger wrapped around us tighter. The gloomy morning transformed into a bright afternoon, and in that fleeting moment, Gabriel and I found ourselves drawn together, hearts racing with unspoken desires. We craved a moment of simplicity, a fleeting escape from the heavy air that wrapped around us, pulling us closer together in secret. Today, I long to escape our troubles and lose myself in the warmth of Gabriel's presence. Our paths crossed in a secluded park, just a heartbeat away from home. This place has always held a quiet magic for me, with its lush fields, timeless trees, and a soft breeze whispering secrets through the leaves. Gabriel stood at the park entrance, his smile igniting a warmth within me that I couldn't ignore. It was moments like these that deepened the bond I felt, even if it was a little dangerous to care so much. "Hi, Sophia," Gabriel said, his voice low as he reached out to me, a spark of something unspoken hanging in the air between us. "Are you ready to escape into the wild for a day together?" My heart fluttered in response. "Hi, Gabriel. I can't wait any longer. I long for a moment where we can just breathe together." We strolled down a hidden path, surrounded by vibrant blooms and lush foliage, our hearts racing with unspoken desires. The sun shone brightly, and a flutter of hope danced within me. Our conversations danced between laughter and longing, sharing secrets of our favorite stories and cherished memories, each word a brushstroke on the canvas of what could never be. "You know, Gabriel murmured as we strolled past the pond where the ducks glided. "I've always cherished these moments in the park. It's a fleeting escape, a chance to forget the world and savor the thrill of now." "I get it," I whispered. "This place feels so right, yet so wrong. Everything feels like a quiet secret, a moment suspended in time." We discovered a secluded bench beneath the sprawling branches of an ancient tree and settled in, hearts racing with the thrill of stolen moments. Gabriel pulled out a bottle of water, his eyes lingering on mine as he offered it to me, a silent invitation that felt charged with something unspoken. As we spoke, an unspoken bond began to weave itself around us, electric and undeniable. Every word he spoke, every glance he cast, and every subtle gesture all began to pulse with a weight that was impossible to ignore. "Do you read often?" Gabriel asked, a secret smile playing on his lips. "What genre triggers your heartbeat?" I nodded, my heart racing with unspoken words. "Absolutely. I adore getting lost in stories. I have a deep fondness for tales of love that linger in the shadows of time. They pull me into a world where everything feels possible, yet so wrong." Gabriel's gaze lingered, a spark of something unspoken flickering between them. "Intriguing. Is there an author who evokes a rush of excitement within you?" I paused, my heart racing. "Absolutely. I do." My heart flutters at the thought of Jane Austen. Her stories pulse with longing and tangled connections. "Oh, that's a timeless tale," Gabriel whispered, a hint of longing in his voice. "I find solace in the pages of a book, where emotions intertwine and secrets linger just beneath the surface. Recently, I've found myself captivated by the allure of contemporary fantasy." As we spoke, the air between us crackled with unspoken feelings, our favorite books and movies weaving a tapestry of shared secrets and longing. Gabriel shared with me his latest passions, his voice tinged with excitement as he revealed the secrets he'd uncovered. Each moment with him was a stolen treasure, the bond between us deepening in the shadows. Once we caught our breath, we resumed our secret stroll, hearts racing with unspoken desires. Gabriel whispered an invitation to the old bridge, hidden away at the far end of the park, where secrets lingered in the air. As we strolled down the winding path, the lush trees whispered secrets around us, and I felt a shift in Gabriel. He was more vulnerable, more alive, as if the world had faded away. leaving just the two of us in this fleeting moment. His words wrapped around me like a secret, each one a fragile thread of his heart, and I couldn't help but feel the weight of his trust in my hands. As we stepped onto the bridge, a burst of vibrant flowers surrounded us, their beauty almost too intense to bear. Gabriel whispered the idea of capturing a moment against the wild beauty around us, and as we posed, laughter danced between us, electric and fleeting. Our hands almost touched, but I withdrew, heart racing with fear and longing, sending a shiver through me, igniting a spark that felt both thrilling and dangerous. After our walk, we found ourselves drawn to a quaint little cafe near the park, the air thick with unspoken feelings. We sat close, the aroma of coffee and pastries enveloping us, as our whispers danced between unspoken desires and secret dreams. As Gabriel shared his dreams, a spark ignited in his eyes, revealing a passion that felt both thrilling and out of reach. Time slipped away, leaving only the ache of what could never be. As Gabriel and I strolled to our cars, a bittersweet ache settled in my chest, knowing that our time together was slipping away. Our eyes met, and a spark ignited as we whispered our thanks for the fleeting moments we shared. "Thank you for today, Gabriel," I whispered as we lingered by the car, the air thick with unspoken words. "It felt so right, yet so wrong. Thank you." "Sophia," he whispered, his heart racing. "Being with you made it unforgettable. I long for the chance to feel this way once more." As we parted, a bittersweet warmth enveloped my heart, a lingering echo of our stolen moments together. Even with the storm brewing around us, this day felt like a hidden oasis of joy, a fleeting moment we dared to cherish. In that fleeting moment, with our secret tucked away, I felt a rush of joy just being with Gabriel, savoring his presence and the undeniable spark between us. That evening started like any other, yet an unspoken tension lingered in the air. Once more, it was just Gabriel and me in the quiet of our home, the weight of unspoken feelings hanging in the air. As Thomas lingered at work, this had turned into a secret ritual. Each late night, when the world outside faded away, Gabriel and I found solace in stolen moments. Cherishing the thrill of our secret connection, we were aware of the danger, yet the pull between us was irresistible. What we felt was deeper than a fleeting crush. A fire we dared not extinguish drew us together. The warmth of the kitchen enveloped me as Gabriel slipped in behind. The air between us tightened, suffocating with unspoken yearning, his lips brushing softly against my neck, igniting a spark that felt both thrilling and wrong. I smiled, savoring his warmth, and tilted my head just enough for him to carry on. Gabriel seemed to sense the depths of my emotions, his touch both bold and intoxicating. We stood on the edge, where fear faded into the shadows, and every whispered word wrapped us in a cocoon of trust and longing. As we gathered at the table, the air crackled with an unspoken tension, a longing that transcended the simple act of sharing a meal. In our stolen glances and subtle movements, an unspoken connection lingered, felt only by us. Each glance, each whisper, even the simplest exchange, carried an unspoken bond and a secret vow of what was to come. After dinner, Gabriel leaned in, his voice low as he suggested watching a movie, the air thick with unspoken tension. It was our secret moment. We often found ourselves drawn to old comedies, their laughter wrapping around us like a secret, offering a fleeting escape from the world outside. We sat side by side, a chasm of unspoken words hanging between us for the electric tension between us. As the first scenes unfolded, Gabriel pulled me into his arms, and his warmth enveloped me like a secret I never wanted to end. Gabriel drew me near, and I melted into him, lost in that intoxicating yet perilous moment once more. We had long since forgotten the weight of our choices, the shadows lurking in the corners of our hearts, and the chaos that could unfold. In that fleeting moment, it was just us, and nothing else seemed to exist. Yet, just as our hearts intertwined, a sound shattered the silence. Initially, I brushed it off, but when the door lock clicked, a chill ran through me, and I understood the gravity of the moment. I stepped back from Gabriel, my heart racing as I faced the door. Thomas lingered at the entrance, his expression a mix of disbelief and heartache. His eyes, brimming with shock and unspoken longing, were locked onto us, a silent witness to our secret. Thomas stood there, heart racing, caught in a moment he never thought possible. In that moment, my heart flipped, and the world around me faded away. What had felt so right just moments before was now overshadowed by a heavy weight of guilt and fear. His gaze cut through me, and in that moment, I understood that all the secrets Gabriel and I had desperately shielded were laid bare. In a heartbeat, all that was cherished and vital fell apart, leaving only a haunting void. What is this feeling that pulls me closer to you, even when I know I shouldn't? It's a spark that ignites my heart, a whisper of something more, hidden in the shadows of our lives. I can't help but wonder if we stood frozen, overwhelmed by emotions we dared not name. Even if the world says we shouldn't, could it be? Thomas's voice trembled softly, each word laced with unspoken heartache. He stood there, disbelief etched on his face, desperately trying to convince himself that the situation was merely a haunting dream. How could you do this to us? The words tangled in my throat, silencing me completely. My heart raced as I stood there, words trapped in my throat, knowing I should speak, but feeling the weight of unspoken truths holding me back. Gabriel rose, his expression heavy with guilt and longing. He felt the weight of the moment, knowing that nothing would ever be the same again. Thomas stepped closer, his expression a tangled web of anger and heartbreak. His gaze flickered between us, and I felt the tension in the air as his fists tightened, a storm brewing within him. His lips quivered, struggling to convey the depth of his unspoken emotions. "Us? You betrayed me," he finally said, his voice trembling with heartache. My heart ached with the weight of my trust in you. I loved you, and I loved you too. Those words pierced my heart, leaving a raw ache behind. Tears cascaded down my cheeks, each drop a whisper of the pain and fear that gripped my heart. Gabriel's heart raced as he opened his mouth, but Thomas's gaze silenced him, leaving unspoken words hanging in the air between them. "Leave? Both of you," he shouted, his voice trembling with a mix of fury and something deeper. "Leave my home, and I hope our paths never cross again." It dawned on me that we were trapped in this moment, with no way out. We had shattered all that Thomas held dear, and now the weight of our choices pressed heavily upon us. Gabriel's gaze locked onto mine, and in that moment, I felt an undeniable connection echoing back at me. Heartache, longing, and the painful truth that it had come to an end. We moved quietly toward the exit, hearts heavy with the weight of unspoken goodbyes, knowing the present was our final moment together. This marked the bittersweet conclusion of our hidden bond, the bittersweet conclusion of what we once shared. This was the culmination of everything. As we stepped outside, my heart ached, and tears slipped down my cheeks. I couldn't resist them any longer. The ache inside me was unbearable, pulling me apart in ways I never thought possible. Gabriel stepped closer, wrapping his arms around me in a tender embrace, but the warmth of his touch only deepened my ache. I felt broken, hollow, and lost. All that we shared slipped away, leaving me lost in a sea of longing. As we lingered on the porch, a heavy realization settled in my heart. Everything was about to change forever. That evening, I felt the weight of loss crushing my heart, and the world ahead appeared dark and desolate. Gabriel's embrace was warm, yet deep down, I understood that it couldn't alter our fate. All we could do was search for a path ahead, yet I couldn't fathom how we would endure this. After that fateful night, when Thomas caught a glimpse of Gabriel and me entwined, everything began to unravel. We stood outside, the chill wrapping around us like a secret, deepening the shadows in my mind. Gabriel's grip was firm, yet it offered no solace to my racing heart. In that moment, I felt the weight of our shattered dreams, the fragile world we had built together crumbling away, exposed to the unforgiving light. Thomas remained silent as we stepped out of his house, the weight of unspoken feelings hanging between us. He lingered at the doorstep, fists tight, his expression a mix of anguish and fury, his heart broke in a way that echoed in my soul. Each fragment a reminder of what we could never have. Gabriel and I walked away, our hearts heavy with the weight of our decision, fully aware that we had crossed a boundary from which we could never return. We huddled together in the car, the world outside fading away as the night wrapped around us like a secret. We were lost, caught in a moment we couldn't escape. Gabriel reached out, his warmth a fragile beacon, but I was too shattered to respond. All we could do was linger in the shadows of the night, hearts racing, yearning for the dawn to reveal our next steps. That night stretched on, heavy with unspoken words and stolen glances. Each passing hour felt like an eternity, and I could sense my world crumbling around me. The following day, we chose to hide away in a quaint motel on the outskirts of town. It was just a fleeting refuge, a place to pause and ponder what came next for us. Caught in the thrill of the moment, we found ourselves in a small room where the shadows clung tightly, and the air felt heavy with unspoken desires. I perched on the edge of the bed, wrapping my arms around myself. As the hollow ache within me deepened, Gabriel stood close, yet his presence only deepened the emptiness within me. He reached out, his words hanging in the air. But each time, silence wrapped around us like a shroud. We both knew that what had transpired was more than a mere mistake. In that fleeting instant, the world we knew shattered, leaving us to navigate the aftermath together, hearts heavy with unspoken longing. A lawyer's summons arrived a few days later, triggering a tumultuous range of emotions within me. Thomas had taken the first step toward ending it all. It was inevitable, yet it struck me with the force of 1,000 storms. I sat in the dim motel room, clutching the letter tightly, as if it could anchor me in a world that felt like it was crumbling away. Gabriel's gaze lingered on me. A mix of worry and regret etched across his features. "I knew this would happen," he murmured, settling next to me. It tore at my heart, knowing I had shattered not just my vows, but also the dreams of someone who cherished me deeply. Even with all the turmoil between Thomas and me, I never imagined it would come to this. It came like a whisper, sharp and unforgiving. Thomas's lawyer urged me to sign the divorce agreement, leaving behind any claims to what was once ours. He longed to push me away, and deep down, I felt the weight of that desire. After everything that had happened, I felt I had no right to ask for anything. Gabriel was my anchor, yet his presence couldn't silence the ache within me. We chose to embark on a new journey together, even though neither Gabriel nor I could grasp what it truly entailed. We chose a tiny apartment in the city, a place where our pasts could fade away, allowing us to weave a new beginning in secret. It felt like a dream we shouldn't dare to chase. Yet here we were, with no other path to follow. We could no longer conceal our hearts, and the present was the only path left for us. The apartment we discovered felt like a world away from everything I had ever known. A tiny haven, sparsely furnished, yet it felt like our secret escape. We started to build our life together, desperately trying to push away the haunting memories that lingered in the shadows. Yet each morning, as I opened my eyes in this strange, foreign room, a sense of disconnection washed over me, making my life feel increasingly distant and unrecognizable. Gabriel reached out to me, his eyes reflecting a shared turmoil, as we both navigated the uncharted waters of our hearts. We stood on the edge of something new, our pasts fading like whispers, while the future loomed ahead, both thrilling and terrifying. He found a job, and we began to piece our lives back together. Yet deep down, I understood that no amount of change could ever mend the ache of what we had lost. The first few weeks in the new apartment felt like a bittersweet eternity. Thoughts of that moment haunted me, a bittersweet reminder of how I had shattered both my world and Thomas's. Gabriel and I shared the same space, yet an unspoken longing hung heavy in the air. We both felt the weight of our connection, a burden too great for us to bear. Once the divorce was finalized, I felt a void where Thomas once stood. Our paths diverged, and I never caught a glimpse of him again. He was making an effort to move on, to wipe away the traces of what we once shared, and I couldn't hold it against him. Gabriel and I yearned for a fresh start, yet the shadows of our past lingered, whispering secrets we couldn't escape. Each time we dared to dream of tomorrow, the haunting memory of our beginnings loomed between us, a bittersweet reminder of what we could never fully embrace. Everything changed in an instant, and I wondered if I would ever feel whole again. Gabriel and I remained together in the shadows of our shared home, yet with every passing day, it seemed a new wall grew between us, heavy with unspoken longing, a wall built from our choices and the weight they carry. We had lost not only what was, but also the fragile piece that once bound us together. Now we had to bear the weight of our choices, seeking a way through the tangled emotions, even as the journey ahead felt impossibly daunting. It had been a few months since Gabriel and I took the leap into our new apartment, a space filled with unspoken tension and stolen glances. Initially, every moment was a thrilling discovery. A fleeting opportunity to begin anew ignited a spark of hope within us, whispering that we could conquer any obstacle in our path. Yet, as days turned into nights, the weight of reality pressed heavily upon us, twisting our once simple love into a tangled web of complications. At just 18, Gabriel's youth seeped into every corner of our existence. He was on the brink of something beautiful, yet dangerous. His interests and desires felt so right, yet so wrong, like a secret longing that stirred deep within him. He longed to escape, to dive into new passions, to laugh with friends, and to taste the sweetness of life, even if it meant stepping into the shadows of the forbidden. Meanwhile, I found myself in a world apart, navigating a path that felt so distant from everything else. All I wanted was a sense of safety, a steady path ahead, weary of the chaos, and longing for peace. We found ourselves clashing over the smallest things, those little moments that now feel so heavy with meaning. How we might steal away our weekends together. My heart ached for a quiet night in, savoring a homemade meal and losing myself in a film, while Gabriel's restless spirit yearned for the thrill of the night, to mingle with friends and dance under the stars. Our disagreements started to accumulate, each one heavier than the last, until every conversation felt like a reminder of the chasm between us. One evening, after yet another heated exchange, Gabriel returned home later than expected. I sat on the couch, my heart racing as I fought to ignore the ache of wondering where he could be. When he finally appeared, my heart raced with a blend of relief and frustration, a spark igniting in the air between us. "I've missed you so much. Where have you been hiding?" I asked, my voice steady. But inside, a storm raged. Gabriel's gaze lingered on me, a whisper of weariness in his eyes. I just shared a fleeting moment with friends, a bittersweet encounter that lingered in the air. We chose to steal a moment away together. "You didn't even call," I said, my voice trembling with unspoken longing. My heart raced with worry. He shrugged, masking the weight of unspoken feelings. "I crave the thrill of escape. Even if just for a moment, I'll always carry you in my heart. But you could at least warn me," I said, my heart racing as the tension wrapped around us once more. "I wish you could see how much I care. But it feels like we're dancing on the edge of something we shouldn't." "More careful," he whispered again, the warmth fading from his voice. "Why do you speak to me as if I'm so naive?" "Sophia, I crave freedom, yet your presence lingers like a sweet ache, pulling me closer even as I resist." These words pierced my heart in ways I never anticipated. I felt his pain, yet the distance between us grew harder to bear. We shared the same space, but our hearts drifted in separate worlds. He let out a soft sigh, his fingers tangling in his hair, a mix of longing and frustration evident in his eyes. "But we can never truly be in sync, can we? Your heart craves one thing, while mine yearns for something else entirely, and that will never be different." We lingered in silence, the weight of unspoken feelings hanging between us. each of us adrift in our own secret worlds. The distance between us grew unbearable, and I was lost, unable to find a path to close the gap. Gabriel rose and approached the window, his gaze lingering on the shimmering city lights, a bittersweet ache in his chest. "Do you remember Sophia?" he began after a lingering silence, his voice soft and filled with unspoken longing. Deep down, we understood that this moment was fleeting, a beautiful secret we could never fully embrace. My heart tightened in a way that felt both thrilling and wrong. "What are you saying?" He turned to me, and in his eyes, I glimpsed the truth I had dreaded. I came to the bittersweet realization that our moments were fleeting. We gave it our all. "Truly?" he insisted, his gaze locked onto mine. "Yet, our differences only draw me closer to you. I can't embrace the life you envision for us. I'm not prepared for the weight of forever, for the ties that bind us to a life together. I'm not ready for this." Sophia, as I gazed at him, a whirlwind of feelings surged inside me, each one more intense than the last. Deep down, I felt the truth in his words, yet my heart resisted the confession. We had faced countless storms side by side, and I believed we could conquer the world together. But now, everything felt so delicate and exposed. He leaned in, his fingers brushing against mine, sending a shiver down my spine. "I can't bear the thought of causing you pain. I never meant to fall like this, but I can't pretend anymore that this isn't real. Our hearts ache in silence, and I can't bear to see us like this." Tears streamed down my cheeks, a silent testament to the ache in my heart. Gabriel's words shattered my heart, a painful reminder of the truth I couldn't escape. What began as a hopeful adventure now felt like a bittersweet farewell, as the chasm between us widened, revealing the stark truth of our differences. "You're right," I whispered, my voice trembling as tears cascaded down my cheeks. "We reached for something beautiful, but it slipped through our fingers." He nodded, and the air between us trembled with unspoken longing, a tender gesture that seemed to ease the ache of our goodbye. I held on to him tightly, the heat of his skin igniting a fire within me, aware that these fleeting seconds were all we had left. We both felt the weight of the moment, knowing it was slipping away from us. Before long, Gabriel found himself gathering his belongings, a bittersweet ache settling in his chest. He moved slowly, savoring each moment, as if the world around him was a delicate secret waiting to be uncovered. I watched him, my heart aching, yet deep down I understood this was the only choice I could make. We could no longer pretend. The weight of the truth was overwhelming. As he completed his task, we lingered by the door, and a wave of sorrow washed over me. This goodbye felt like the heaviest burden I had ever carried. "Thank you for everything you did for me," I whispered, my voice trembling with unspoken feelings. Gabriel's gaze held a bittersweet sadness, his smile barely touching the edges of his lips. "Thank you. Sophia, it means more than you know. You offered me a world I never dared to dream of." His gaze lingered for a heartbeat longer than it should have, and in that fleeting moment, the remnants of our history faded away. He stepped through the door and vanished, leaving me in the hollow silence of the apartment, where every shadow whispered of our stolen moments together. I lingered by the door, time slipping away, until I finally shut it behind me. In that moment, the weight of solitude settled in my chest. The emptiness wrapped around her like a shroud, the silence whispering secrets that lingered in the air. Though I faced the daunting task of beginning anew, the fear that once gripped my heart had begun to fade, replaced by a flicker of hope. Our paths had split, and though it hurt deeply, I knew we had chosen wisely. Sometimes, love finds itself trapped, unable to break free from the shadows that bind it. And there's a bittersweet truth in that reality. I believed that one day the ache would fade, and I would discover my path again, even if it was nothing like the dreams I once held close. A heavy silence enveloped the apartment after Gabriel left, echoing the unspoken words between them. It wasn't the warm embrace of solitude I had longed for. Instead, it was a chilling void that sliced through my heart, tightening with each pulse. I sat on the couch, engulfed by a world that felt strangely distant, as if it belonged to someone else. What Gabriel and I once shared slipped away, leaving behind a haunting ache of longing. Evenings turned into a bittersweet struggle. Each whisper, each glimmer pulled at my heart, echoing the ache of what was no longer mine. I drifted through the apartment, a shadow of longing, searching for a spark to ignite the hollow ache within me. But it was all for nothing. The moment I let desire take hold, everything I had carefully constructed fell apart, leaving only the ache of what I had lost. Memories of Thomas flooded my mind. His tenderness, his warmth, and the affection he offered me. Memories of our time together rushed in, each one a bittersweet reminder of what we could never fully embrace. How he took my breath away. His unwavering presence during my darkest moments felt like a secret we shared, a bond that deepened with every challenge we faced together. Our laughter danced in the air, a secret shared over the smallest moments. Now, those memories weighed on me like a secret I couldn't escape, a guilt that clung to my heart. Each day, the same haunting question lingered in my mind. How could I have let this happen? Why did I turn my back on the one who cherished me above all else? I searched for reasons, desperate to grasp what pulled me toward Gabriel. Yet, deep down, I understood that no excuses could ever erase the choices I made. One night, overwhelmed by a tide of feelings I couldn't contain, I picked up my phone and searched for Thomas's number. My heart raced as I gazed at the screen, torn between desire and fear, fingers trembling above the call button. What words could possibly reach him? How could I possibly convey the weight of my realization, the ache of knowing the true extent of my error? Yet within me blossomed an undeniable longing to hear his voice, to express the depths of my regret for it all. I pressed his number, and my heart fluttered with a mix of excitement and fear. The phone rang endlessly, and just as I was about to give up, his voice broke through the silence, sending a rush of emotions through me. Is anyone there? His voice wrapped around me like a secret, stirring emotions I thought I had buried deep, leaving me breathless. My heart raced. Words caught in my throat. As I stood on the edge of something I knew I shouldn't touch, my heart raced with unspoken words, each one a secret longing that could never be revealed. Who are you? Thomas asked, his voice trembling with a mix of hope and longing. Oh, Thomas, it's me, Sophia, the one you shouldn't want, but can't help but feel drawn to. I needed to say that. He stayed silent, and I sensed his focus on me. A silence that conveyed a wealth of information without the need for words. I let out a soft sigh and pressed on. I can't help but feel this weight in my chest, a longing that feels so wrong yet so right. I'm truly sorry. I realize there's nothing I can mend. I need you to understand how deeply I regret my choice. You were right, and I was too lost in my world to realize it. I shattered the fragile world we built together, and it tears me apart inside. Thomas's silence stretched on, and a knot of worry twisted in my stomach. Could it be that he just ended the call abruptly? But then I caught the sound of his deep sigh. Sophia, he whispered, his voice a tender secret, laced with urgency. This thought has echoed in my mind countless times. I pictured your voice whispering those words, the way they would linger in the air, electrifying and bittersweet. Do you know what I've come to understand? Words of regret can't mend what's been broken. What we had is now just a whisper in the wind. You chose, and now the weight of it lingers between us, a bittersweet reminder of what could have been. His words cut through me, a bittersweet truth I couldn't deny. Our love lay in ruins, and no amount of pleading could ever mend the shattered pieces. I understand, I murmured, fighting to keep the tears at bay. I need you to know that I wish things had been different. He paused, a shadow of longing in his voice. Take care of yourself, Sophia, he whispered, the weight of unspoken words hanging between them. The connection abruptly broke, leaving a hollow ache in the silence that ensued. I set the phone aside, and tears began to spill down my cheeks. It was the end of everything we had, the moment everything I cherished slipped away. all that truly mattered, and I understood that I had to find a way to embrace it. No matter how bittersweet it felt, it lingered in the shadow of what was lost. The ache, the moment hit me like a thunderclap. I had shattered my own world. Days turned into weeks, and I struggled to find a path that would lead me away from the ache in my heart. Yet, each day blurred into the next, a haunting echo of unfulfilled longing. I would rise, drifting through the apartment, seeking a way to escape the pull of my heart. However, the lingering echoes of my past haunted my thoughts. I thought time would mend the scars of my heart. Yet, the scars ran far too deep. My thoughts spiraled back to the moments that brought us here, each one tinged with a bittersweet ache. The memory of meeting Gabriel for the first time still lingers, a bittersweet echo in my heart. His youthful spirit and fiery passion drew me in, blinding me to the things that really mattered. The rush of forbidden feelings carried me away, letting go of the one who cherished me, who would have sacrificed everything for my happiness. And now, I was left to bear the weight of my choices. One evening, as I gazed out at the flickering streetlights, a bittersweet truth washed over me. I could no longer cling to the shadows of yesterday. Though the past was unchangeable, I yearned to uncover a new purpose, a flicker of hope amidst the shadows of what once was. I chose to take a tentative step. I made the decision to let go of the past. It was the most painful choice. Yet deep down, I understood that letting go was the only way to find my path ahead. As the past fades into shadows, and only echoes of what once was linger, the weight of regret crashes down, sharp and unyielding. Sophia, shattered my world with a single choice. I believed I had discovered a spark, a fleeting glimpse of something more. But in the end, I lost the one thing that mattered most. My betrayal tore apart not just my marriage, but also the very essence of who I am. Thomas loved me deeply, and I only realized the weight of that love when it slipped through my fingers. I shattered his trust, and now the bond we once shared is lost forever. Gabriel was nothing more than a fleeting dream, a brief spark that ignited a whirlwind of emotions, only to leave behind a haunting void and heartache. If only I could turn back time, I would choose each moment with a different heart, learn from my heartache. In the quiet moments, love and trust weave a delicate bond, cherished yet tinged with the thrill of the unspoken. Hold them close. Don't allow fleeting moments of vulnerability to shatter what's truly precious. When all is lost, only the ache of what could have been lingers.